Hello again. Welcome to another episode of In Touch with Lucky with another special guest. I always say all my guests are special. In Touch with Lucky is there to bring you all the information of what's happening in our community, who's who, where to go for information. So today, our episode is really an important one, as all the others. Today, we're talking about a very sad but necessary topic of repatriation in the event that you pass away or you lose a loved one here in Australia. What do you do? Where do you go? So this is what we're going to be talking about today. And as you can see, we've got a banner here for ZAWA. Really, they have been instrumental in facilitating that process for people to take their loved ones home to Zimbabwe to bury them. So with us today is Mbenjele, Miss Salome Mbenjele, who is the chairperson of ZAWA. So Mbenjele, welcome and thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us.
Thank you.
Yes. So before, maybe because it's really a deep subject, we're just going to do a little icebreaker so we can just relax a little bit. I'm just going to ask you something random. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Okay, why?
Oh, it brings brightness, love, and with red, really, it reflects the inner part of you. Though it's blood, but it's a color of joy as well.
Okay. It's okay. Interesting. Right. Well, I've got red lipstick. It's, just to solidarity. But thank you, my Mbenjele, for coming today. So perhaps maybe before we get into the finer details of repatriation, maybe tell us about ZAWA. I've been here a very long time, and I think ZAWA has been around for as long as I've been here.
Yep.
So perhaps you can tell us about ZAWA, when it was started and why it was started.
Yeah, thanks, Lucky, so much. And it's my great pleasure to be in touch with Lucky and to be part of really sharing this important information with the community. Yes, my name is Salome Mbenjele. I'm a counseling psychologist by sort of profession. And yes, I'm the current chair for the Zimbabwean Association of Western Australia. And some people might say, ZAWA, what does that mean? So it's for us, all those Zimbabweans who are in Western Australia. This group is for you. And really, it was started some way back, though there are some issues. And thanks, Lucky, for this opportunity. Some of the difficulties, really, I'll put them out to the community. But before I put the challenges, or rather talk about the good things that ZAWA is there for. ZAWA is there to act as a voice for all the Zimbabweans who are living in Western Australia. And if you need help or if you need anything, really go to the website. There are contact details there that you can find someone who can respond ASAP. And what is this group for? The aim and the strategic plan is really to say, let's focus on the young, the old, and anyone. So I've got a piece of paper here just to help me, to prompt me, so that I don't want to miss anything.
Sure.
Everyone is looking forward to hear all about what we do. So what we have done, and even those past presidents, what they've done, they sit down and choose some themes. And those themes, they cover all the different age groups. We've got the community cohesion, whereby we are looking at bringing all the Zimbabweans together so that we are a unity, because together we achieve more. So this one includes the young people, the elders, those who are living with disability, those who are into sporting, and all those who are into business, like our sister Lucky here, and even myself.
Yes.
So we are all included into that. And we've got another theme that we are also looking at focusing on, which is the social and economic in our community growth. We need both, the international students, the community, and all those who have got all that sort of creativity to be exposed, to be seen, to be known, like what we are doing with this platform, bringing different groups, because we have got people who are talented, people who are smart, people who can do wonders, and they are doing wonders, but we don't know about that.
Correct.
So ZAWA really is aiming to say, okay, let's build our own economic among our own people, let's support each other, and let's build each other. Then the last one that we think, and this one, all of them are my favorite, but this one, because it links with my profession,
Right,
is health and well-being.
big.
So it's a big one. We are looking at saying, okay, how can I sort of be there as a community, as ZAWA, as the umbrella organization, supporting what people are going through. It might be their health, education, to go to anything that sort of brings motivation to people. The country that we are in now, we find sometimes it's very challenging. I lived in New Zealand and now here, but if we look at it really, racism do exist.
Yeah.
So how can we support each other? And we need to work to be able to live in this country. How is Mrs. managing? How are you managing as an individual? So we have formed this one to say, okay, let's talk about our own well-being, which is a different topic. We'll talk about that one later. So now with these three themes, we are looking at, so where to from here? And we can't do it as the committee only.
Yeah.
And ZAWA is composed of the chair, the vice chair, then the secretary, the vice secretary, and the treasurer, then committee members.
Right.
But that's just a small group.
Yes.
We need the community.
Yeah.
We need to be there for everyone, but we need your support.
If my memory serves me right, I think Western Australia has the most Zimbabweans in Australia.
Yep.
So it's a huge number. I can't remember the figures. Would you know roughly how many Zimbabweans we have in Perth?
Not of recent. I haven't even get to do some studies. But out of those huge numbers,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. For ZAWA members, it's only 250.
Wow.
Which is just a drop in an ocean.
It is
And
nothing.
really, it's nothing. But even those 250 we have committed, if we can be united and to
Yes.
say, let's be out there for our community,
Yes.
we can really achieve more.
And I like that because I believe that we are responsible for our growth, as a people. And when I say that, I mean us Zimbabweans here. We're so far away from home.
Yep.
So we have each other. And I put something on Facebook the other day where I said that there is enough of us to make each other successful.
Exactly.
So if you're running a business, I come for your services and then I pay you. Likewise, you do the same for me. We go to the next person. We are really supporting each other. This is how you grow. But then you won't grow if you don't know who's doing what.
Exactly.
Which is where platforms like ZAWA come in, whereby you're saying, okay, what are you good at? We need to know what you're good at. And then I've always seen you, you put posts and you're supporting, this one is doing this. And that is, for an international student, I'm probably rambling, but I came here as an international student. And I think that's how we got to know ZAWA back then, because, you're lost.
So true.
I maybe times have changed a little bit now because there is now more people, but still, I think sometimes you'd rather go to an organization than to an individual.
Yep.
So, well done for the work that you're doing anyway with ZAWA. So, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, touching on unity and being sort of there for our community as well. I think most of you, we had our AGM, which ended up not going ahead because we didn't have a quorum. And our upcoming AGM is really for the elections. And what we have done in trying to say, okay, let's bring more people in. As you know, for an organization like this one, it needs a constitution.
Yes.
That constitution needs tweaking. So we end up having our meeting last Sunday, and we tweak it and put it in writing, but it hasn't gone to the commissioner yet.
Right.
And in tweaking it, because we had groups, but in those groups there was something that was missing. For example, we know we've got a group that is so vibrant for women, ladies of Australia, ladies of what is it?
I wonder what that one is. Loza, ladies of Zimbabwe in Australia.
Ladies of Zimbabwe in Australia. When I was, as part of a woman as well, I looked at it, then I said, oh, yes, we've got all these groups, but that group is not there.
Right.
And secondly, we have Mutwakazi.
Right.
And I looked at the constitution, Mutwakazi wasn't included in that. So that leads us to say, let's add in our criteria for becoming a commit member, we have added other, whereby with the other, you can say, oh, I belong to LOSA, and I'm also part of the ZAWA community, I'm a paid up member. So you're able to choose people whom you know that, oh, in LOSA, we've got these strong women, they can come in there and do something. Mutwakas can do the same. We are Mtwakazi, we don't belong to Mbatanidzwa, but we as Loza and Mtwakazi, we've got our own people that we need to bring in.
Yes.
So that's the change that we...
And that's a really good change and welcome change, because we are working together.
Yep.
You and I, we texting each other every other day.
Yep.
You start something and then you pass it to me, and then I, do whatever needs to be done in the community. And I remember there was a lady who passed away maybe 2 years ago, and then I was in attendance, and then someone said to me, Lucky, you did so much with this project, and I really don't want to mention names, but they said, oh, but I was really disappointed that no one mentioned you or Loza. I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because we are together. We are also part of ZAWA. You know what I mean? So we are working together already. So it would be good, yes, to maybe
have that entity there.
Absolutely. All right.
So I was so happy that even the commit members were welcomed with the idea that, yes, we know what is happening. Then I said, each time we are posting information, I always check with the ZAWA admin. We've got this, can we post? So we as Zimbabweans, let this Zimbabwean Association of Western Australia represent every small group.
Yes, because for me, like in WA, ZAWA would be the mother.
Yep.
I really, or if I'm honest, like Loza would come under, because ZAWA is yes, though Loza does branch into other states, yes. Yep. But in WA, we should be looking up to ZAWA.
Exactly.
Really, if we're doing it right.
Yep.
Yes, so you are the mother.
Thank you. So I'm so glad as well that we are welcoming that idea, because we were not sure, and even now we haven't posted out to the community, because we are trying to see how we can word it.
Yeah, and it's for the community, it's for the good of the community. It's not personal, it's for the good of the community. So if we can collaborate, we should be pulling together, not different directions. Just be I guess, yes, different voices, but it's really with one message.
Exactly.
So what's the membership like for ZAWA?
At this time in point, it's only $50 lifetime, but there were some discussions that it needs to be changed. Unfortunately, we didn't have the manpower to put it in the constitution.
Okay.
So we can't change until it is embedded in the constitution.
Right.
So rush before it changes.
$50. Honestly, that.
But for those who have already joined, it won't even affect, like to say, if we say maybe annually or that, the 250 that are already members stays like that.
I see. Oh, wow. No, that's really good. So I guess, which kind of leads us to the other topic, or the major topic, I suppose, of repatriation. And I really asked you to come because I know that when there's a death in the community, people are running to you. They run to me sometimes, or not to me, but to Loza. And I'm thinking, my goodness, I have no idea. And then I would be like, oh, maybe do speak to Mbenjele or, the previous presidents. And like I said, I've seen you being instrumental in, repatriation for a number of people who've passed in the past. And I just think, should something happen, God forbid, people don't know where to begin, So perhaps you can tell us, Mrs. A, Zimbabwean born, has died. Can I just put a disclaimer as well to just say that we're not talking about necessarily the insurance side of it, because you do need funeral insurance, or maybe you don't if you've got money. So for the purpose of this episode, we're not really going to talk about that side of it. We are saying now this is the process, regardless of the money component. We'll talk about the money, but not the insurance necessarily. So someone dies, what do you do? Like, where do you go? What documents does one need?
That one is a sensitive topic, like what we have mentioned, and really, as a Zimbabwean, the way I've been handling this, and I know I need to highlight this, there were some talks whereby people were starting to really talk and say things. But, as cultured people, we mourn with those who mourn. We celebrate with those who celebrate.
Yes.
So regardless of being a ZAWA member, I feel when I heard that as Zimbabwean, this has happened in Zimbabwean community.
Right.
We have to be there to help.
100%.
So we need to be really clear, people, that those who have been calling and trying to analyze, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And when something has happened, even to a ZAWA member or a non-ZAWA member, we put it out to the whole Zimbabwean community.
Correct.
To help.
Yeah.
And it's up to the individuals to chip in or not.
Sure.
And of recent, people have been very helpful.
Yeah.
Zimbabweans community, really, they are emotional people, and I need to acknowledge that.
They come through.
They chip in until the last minute.
True.
So coming in to talk about the repatriation, beside the actual repatriation of the body, I'm also going to talk about the cremation.
Oh.
That one happened recently, and it was my first experience to go through that one. And I thought, I learned as I was doing it, and it's good to share with the community as well that service is there if you wish to take that pathway.
Yeah.
But with the cremation, it's a bit also complicated in a way that there are some timings that you need to follow through. Otherwise, if you don't follow that timing, it will get to an extent whereby you can't even view your beloved one.
Okay. Right. So maybe talk about the repatriation of the actual body. Then you can talk about the cremation. Yeah.
So with the repatriation, and I've got some figures, and I got these figures from only one funeral. I got from different ones, but this one was the cheapest one.
Yeah.
And I know people were suggesting the other one, which they say, it's better. But comparing it with a puzzle and cheap, this one was the cheapest.
Right.
So with what they do, really, with their professional services, which has got an initial fee of roughly 3.6. It includes transfer of the deceased from the place of death. This is within Perth area. And also it includes all the air traffic regulations to say how do we move with this body to there. And also it includes also the mortuary preparation, because it's not just taking the body and moving with it. And also it includes like the embalming of the deceased, so that at least they meet the requirements of the transportation from transferring from hospital into the whatever care they are taking them to. And at the same time, they've got a different fee, and that one, it has to be sort of also included. Then I'll talk about the people who end up saying, yes, the breakdown is good to see the clarifications. There's what they call the supply of the outer packaging of the coffin for transportation. They don't just transport the coffin, it has to be protected and all that. And also it requires the here Australian government regulations. There's paperwork that needs to be done that this is taking this body to their care, and they do everything in that. So all those different figures, if you look at them as well, it will end up as being more, but I'll talk about the actual figure later on.
Okay.
There is the transfer of coffin, because the coffin that they take someone from the hospital into their care, it's a different one. Then they will put another one. But you'll see that when they've got the person in their care, or prior to having that person in their care, they need a family member. And with some that I've been acting as representing and all that, I'll be in the background. I don't take over the family member's decision. ZAWA doesn't even go ahead of the family. The family will lead throughout. So they appoint one person that will communicate with the parlor, that will do the consent to say, yes, we agree, you can take over. They will also need that family member to say, okay, this is our deceased's name, and these are the documents, and this is what we have at the moment. And with these documents, I'm only talking about birth certificate to confirm
I was just about to say,
that is, this is the right person, and this is their age. And with the weight, they'll check with the family first. But if the family is not aware, then they'll get consent from the family to ask for the hospital to do the weighing and all that.
So they need the weight of the...
Yes. And with the weight, why they need it, there are some sort of certain charges. And with the flights, when it comes to now repatriating, to say, okay, and with those charges, they charge per kg. So let's say, for example, weight of deceased being 8 kgs, then the transfer coffin plus packaging, let's say 75 kgs, then they will add the total. For example, with this one, it will add up to 155 kgs, and it's $15 per kilo.
Wow. I had no idea.
And now the deceased is in their care, they're taking part of that. You don't need to run around who's going to organize the death certificate, who's going to do this. The parlor will do all that for a small fee of $98.
Right.
Roughly.
Well with it.
So what they need to do is, from the Registrar General's Office of Perth, they will put an application of collection of 2 times sort of the death certificate. And why they put even the third one, they say, if we give you 3, which means those home, they might need 1, those who are staying here in Australia might need 1, and if there are children involved, children might need. So they are puzzle and cheaper, they are so caring into putting all that into consideration. Then some people say, oh, there's someone who are saying, oh, I need the contact details for the embassy because I need help with this process.
Yeah, I was going to ask that as well. Like, does the embassy help?
The embassy, they don't, and I learned it from the recent one.
Right.
We reached out because this one was complex.
Right.
They don't. We have to reach out to our people here, Home Affairs. They are the ones who deal with that. They can't. Zimbabwean can't take over them. It has to be those who are here.
Oh, right.
And with even the processing of saying, okay, from here to Zimbabwe, how am I going to go about it? How is the transportation or the repatriation going to be smooth? When the family member has picked a parlor here, they will ask to say who is going to look after the body when the body gets home. So you provide that to the parlor here.
Right.
And the two can communicate.
They communicate.
Yes.
Right. So with the parlor, I know you've mentioned the name there. Do all parlors do repatriation? Or
They do. They do. It's only different charges and different processes. Why I picked the Paslo as well, they are the only ones that were saying they can do 3 death certificates.
Oh, I see.
And even their pricing and their caring. For me, if I go, I think I would choose them. They've got a female service. And you can choose if you want to be sent away in white as a woman. It can be led by a woman. And
Are you going in? You want to go in red, my Mbenjele?
maybe I'll go in red. So everyone will be wearing red, dancing and chilling.
Look, we laugh about it, but this is why we even in our other episode we're gonna talk about even a will, because I think you can put these finer details in your will as well. This is how I want to go, and this is the funeral parlor I would like to,
to take me home. And to be clear on the embassy and consulate documentation, the parlor will organize that for you at a fee.
Oh yes.
So they will charge a fee for that, and roughly is $200. But because some countries are different, and with Zimbabwe as well, in terms of the packaging, they can be a bit cranky, because when they fail to do it properly, for example, the recent ones where body was taken to Harare, Harare to Bulawayo to Matopo, they want to make sure that the parlor here have dressed that person so that they get home in a good state.
It's quite a long trip. Yeah.
It's a long trip, so they are so careful to say they need to do their best. Otherwise, if they don't do that and they don't meet the requirements back home, though they don't know that our country is a bit in chaos, if they don't meet that, for them it's an obligation that they have to do it.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
So in all those sort of charges, it will sort of add up to, like, which is not much, 5.1, but that's not the end, because we didn't include the air freight charges, which can also be calculated with the parlor when they've got all the kgs of the body and whatever need to be included. And really, like, from here to our way to Zimbabwe, including all the airway bills and all that, it will end up to like 8,500.
8,500. That's the total?
That's the total.
Right.
For repatriation.
Just anyway,
roughly anyway. Yeah. But if you take this figure, really, I end up learning it through this experience as well. It was cheaper to do the repatriation than doing the traditional burial here.
Please elaborate a little bit on that.
Because with here, like, really, I need to acknowledge someone who has been helping me or who has been working alongside me. Sure. Pastor Tabani Ngube.
Oh, love her. Love her.
And having her services and her being included, even during the repatriation, it brings those prices down. Because with the church service and all that, if she can handle that part, it saves us.
She's coming very soon. I've invited her here as well. Okay. I love her. She's an amazing woman.
So she's an amazing woman who does things from her heart and save us some financial like that. Right. And with the burial here, why sometimes it becomes a bit more, or also for those who want to say, okay, we want the parlor to sort of conduct do their sort of church like here, they will charge for all those extras. But if you are struggling financially, we can utilize our own Zimbabweans who are good in that to come and do the services, and then the board will just be taken from the parlor to the airport.
That will save a lot of money.
It saves a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when we tried to check in with another family who wanted all this, they end up saying, okay, if we've got someone who can help us, let's just do it with that person and take it over. And yes, my pastor, sister, Tabani.
Yeah, no, she's amazing.
Jumping in to help. So that's all about the repatriation.
It's interesting, really, that you say that it's cheaper to repatriate than to have the burial here, and I do realize that people choose where they want to be buried for different reasons. Exactly. But it's really important to put that out there.
For people to make their own.
Yes.
And for those who are in Harare, I'm not sure, but really I find, Doves is not operational home better. But there is another funeral, though they are based in Bulawayo, but they say they can do everywhere. Chinoy, I haven't even done my homework. And now, because we have started this process, we can really check and do a bit of homework and maintain like a directory whereby we know that people, when they need to do this, you can make your choices wisely.
Yes, no, I really like that. I think we need to do that. Just having like an up-to-date, current really directory to say, okay, Chinoi, this is the way to go. Bulawayo Mashingwe and all that. Yeah,
for their own.
Yeah, that would be good to have.
It's really, work in progress.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And we hand it over for the new incoming team as well.
When are the elections?
Good. Thanks for bringing that one up. Our elections are on the 20th of January.
Okay.
Due to not having the quorum and the public holidays as well.
Oh, I see.
So we say, let people have their Christmas. Let's more people travel back so that we have many people. Yeah. And we really need the competition.
Has it been 2 years already?
Yes.
It's gone quick.
So quick, 2 years, it's over.
Yeah, so there's no dictatorship, eh?
No. We do our part. We need to move on. New blood. And really, I also encourage new people to come in, especially young people. We need you. Come and uplift our community and do things for your own community. Yeah. But after the repatriation, I thought of sharing, if it's okay with you, like if you've got time, the crimination, which was...
Yes, please do. Please, because it's so interesting that you bring it up, and I actually hadn't thought of it because it's new, in our culture. It's a recent, development for us. Please.
Yeah. So with the crimination, really, I really didn't realize that it's more stressful than the repatriation of the actual body.
Okay, how so?
The processing is a bit challenging, but the only advice I can give people in the community, if you are planning to do the crimination, be organized, communicate with your people back home.
Because they're waiting for a body.
And really do agree on way forward. Fighting back and forth, the more you hold on to that body, even if it's in the parlor, it can deteriorate quick.
So is it necessarily cheaper?
It's cheaper, but it's a painful way to say, if you delay, that this is my beloved one is gonna go. Because the processing really, there's a time whereby they can say you can view the body. Then when it passes a certain stage, they might end up adding everything and all that. That body can be unviewable.
Right.
And really, and with some tradition, which is part of what I do as well, we need to identify the body. But if you are fighting with people back home and those one who are here, and you end up maybe being lucky to bring the rep from home to here, and with someone, when they are coming here, our family members, they say, we need to see the body.
Yeah.
But when it gets to a certain stand, they can't even see it. They can't even take a photo to say, this is our beloved one's feet or all that for identification. So it's just, everything will be sealed. And even the way they will be, it broke my heart. The way they will even end up looking after when it gets to that decomposing stage, it's not okay. It's just taking them from there, then to the center where they do the crimination. And it depends with the family as well, whether they want to do a bit of a service, but it will be a service like wearing masks and all that. It's really, our people, we need to talk to our families back home. Our families need some education.
Yes, which is really why we are having this conversation right now, you and I, to reach our people here in the community. We need to have the conversation. Uncomfortable as it may be, it has to happen.
It has to.
Yes, because then if you talk, to your spouse, to your sister, to your brother, you're preparing
Exactly.
You know, because you know, if you can help it, then you avoid having that situation whereby your body is in a mortuary somewhere for very long time until it decomposes to the extent that they can't even view your body.
Exactly.
You know, I remember during COVID, broke my heart. You know, I lost an auntie. My mom's sister died. Obviously, I couldn't go because of the travel restrictions and all that. It was so heartbreaking. You know, you've just lost her suddenly, and then there's nobody viewing, and people are wearing masks. That is so heartbreaking, because for me, I believe that, you know, that the saying goodbye, you know, is part of the healing, the grieving process. You know,
Exactly.
it takes forever. We're still grieving for people who've long gone, but at least we did the viewing,
The closure.
You know, you can start to heal. But yeah,
So yeah, it's
sorry,
really,
it's a bit
and I
graphic,
really love to say you are bringing even people, the real people,
yes,
because I need to prepare myself. We know we are born and we die.
yeah.
So it's not something that I need to say, oh, I'll prepare when I get to this age. No. Death comes at any time.
Yes.
So be prepared.
Yes.
Put your things in order.
Yes.
Tell your family,
Yes.
especially those back home, fighting doesn't help.
Yes.
Send me in peace. Let me rest in peace.
Yes.
And arguing, you are only troubling my spirit. So my soul need to be rest in peace. And really, especially those with children, with all that, let the children say a goodbye
Correct.
to their father, to their mother.
Yeah.
Not to say, oh, they can't even see it. Because you are fighting. And the fight, that also brings me to something, you know. Some people back home, we need also to educate them that not everyone here has got a beautiful house like this one, like he's living in. And even those who are in beautiful houses, there's what we call mortgage.
Absolutely.
Don't aim, and we might be moving with beautiful cars.
Yes.
They are car loans.
Of course.
So when I pass on, really, for you to say you want the house, you want this, sometimes it's not realistic.
No.
It's not mine.
No.
It belongs to the bank.
Belongs to the bank. Yes.
So let's educate our families.
Yes.
To say you might fight, to say, okay, where is the house? We need the car, we need this. To say, okay, let's do the homework here. How much is that person owing on the house?
Sure.
But with all of that, it's material things.
Absolutely.
You rather send your beloved one
Yes.
nicely and let things
Respected with dignity.
with dignity.
Yes.
Exactly. Because even with the crimination, you can body view, you can do everything, you can do the service. Then you choose to say, okay, really, we want to take the ashes.
Yeah.
But
So do you think, because like I said, it's a new development in our community. How do you think that is being received on the other end, or, you know, people back home, the cremation?
it's not easy. People are not accepting that to say, yes, we can have someone in a vase and all that. You might choose a beautiful one or a simple one, but the processing is not easy. For us women, people end up saying, why do you always talk about women? Let's also be smart that really, if I'm married, let the Mbenjeles lead.
Right.
Into whatever they want. I don't want them to end up giving up on me to say, you do it.
Right.
Because you decided to burn our loved one. But I didn't decide that. So it's really a sensitive thing that really, let's just do it the proper way.
Yes.
And with the crimination, including everything and all that as well, it's also a bit expensive.
Okay.
Which is like with these ones, they were charging about 11,000.
And whereas the other one is 8, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's just, and this one as well is, we have removed all the sort of touches that they should be done, because I was asking to say, give me the basic.
Sure.
Not everyone can afford to pay all those high fees to say, we'll take you special, we'll do this. So this is the basic, and for them they were saying this is the cheapest they can go. So it's up to us to say, but back home, yeah, I'll rather go first before my husband going first and decide to criminate. Otherwise,
Yeah.
so it's a sensitive topic. Yeah, people are not accepting it well
Yeah,
when it comes to crimination.
Yeah, because we are used to, you know, we do nyaradzo.
Exactly.
After, maybe 40 days or so, munashaika, you do nyaradzo, then you go and put your flowers on the grave site. And then after a year, moisa dombo tombstone unveiling. So that's what we know.
It's cultural.
Yeah, that's our culture. So yeah, but then things are changing. One of my friends always says that we need to renegotiate every time. Like now our generation is now talking about it, whereas maybe our mothers would never want to. They don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
But now we're talking about it. So yeah, even though we might not be the ones to fully implement it, but then we've got my son's generation and your son's generation. Maybe they will then look more into it
and find a way.
So I would like to think that's why it's not received at the moment.
Exactly. And to be honest, if you look into it, I think even for myself as well, since I left Zimbabwe, it was my first encounter to say we can choose to criminate, to ban our belongings. So it's really
because mwana akakura ndega achienda kuAustralia ndikamuperekedza paairport ndikamubhabhaisa. So yes, he or she has passed away. You're expecting a body,
not to see
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And also for me, interesting enough, then you now have the ashes in the house. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's so tough because it's not in our culture.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So putting it, maybe it's there in our culture, but really, yeah, it's something that sort of saying,
Interesting. All right. Thank you for bringing that on. I think we'll need to have another discussion and just talk about even these new developments that are the new changes and, how we can adapt and, but then again, for this one, it's not necessarily cheaper anyway.
No.
So, maybe we can park it for now. So to do a recap, my Mbenjele, I think we've got about 5-6 minutes to go. So someone dies. Birth certificate is needed to get a passport.
Yes, because on the passport as well there is their date of birth, so parlors can accept that.
Okay, so any parlor can help with repatriation.
Yes, any parlor can help with repatriation.
Right. So all things being equal, all the documentations are there, the families are in agreement. How long does the process take?
Really, it depends with even those who are here, and it depends also how this person passed on. If it's accidental, it will take a bit longer. As you know, they need the
coronial inquest,
and all that. But if it's something that to say, okay, my Mbenjele has been unwell for a while, yes, and it's a time to go, and really you've got people on the ground here to run around and coordinate everything. Usually it takes 3 to 4 weeks, then the body can be taken home.
Right.
And even less than that, it's a really quicker, straightforward sort of movement. But what has been holding people up is that acceptance to say you stay a long time in denial, which doesn't help as well. Accept, yes, they've gone, then start the paperwork and processing and identify your parlor so that they can start also preparing things and also getting in touch with saying, oh, which hospital, you need to let them know, then they can start to work together with the coroners.
Wow. No, thank you so much for that information. Like we said, it's a sensitive subject, but it's one that has to happen, and we are responsible. It's our responsibility. You can't just leave it for other people to now clean up your mess. You know, I might be sitting here today, I'm where we're talking. You don't know, you're here tomorrow, like he's gone, God forbid. But these things happen. So I think there's no better time to prepare than now. Have the conversation. You can talk to your spouse, yes, but also your people back home. You know, they say, "Truda munwedu." You know, so whatever it is that whatever path you choose, it has to be known to all the relevant people.
Exactly.
You know, and I think it has to be in writing, which is why that episode on wills and estates and all that is very important.
So important.
Yes. Yes. And then at the back of this one as well, would need to talk about the insurance side of it, you know, funeral insurance. It's very important. Yes, as you can see, you know, we can say, oh no, 8,000 is not that much, but when it comes, you have nothing.
Exactly.
Namari.
Nothing, completely nothing.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's the first here.
Yes.
How about?
Exactly. And like you're saying, it will take about 3 to 4 weeks. People would need, you know, our culture, people gather.
Exactly.
You
Food
know,
and all
yes.
that.
And I find here Zimbabweans, like we said in the beginning, they really come through. People will chip in, you know, people will be cooking, which is really lovely. But then on the other side, 4 weeks, people are gathering. You know, mbuya vachatouya kubva kwavanobva
It's a nightmare.
vakamirira chitunha chemuzukuru wavo, and rightfully so. This is what we do. This is our culture. She's also grieving, so I think that's why we also need to be financially prepared.
Exactly.
You know, there's going to be incidentals. Things are going to come up that you're not prepared for. But I feel that if you are prepared somehow, it's better.
Makes it easier. And it's so true. Thanks, like if we're talking about the preparedness, whilst you are still here, prepare yourself. And even communicating with those back home, if you're prepared to say, okay, take me home, you've got a choice to choose. I was so uplifted with another funeral that I attended for one of our Zimbabweans that really, yes, family were starting to fight and all that, but this person, they had chosen where they want to be buried. And they've done it really nice. It was like staking the coffins. He said, if I go first, you put me under and my wife will come on top. But family members to say, no, we can't do that.
Was there a will?
There wasn't a will, but the good thing is just like my Mbenjele, if I go now, Blessing has to advocate that mom told me that this is what she wants and you are not going to change it.
Yeah.
Tell the uncles, tell whoever.
Yeah.
Because you saw the children end up saying, no. This is what dad said he wants and we're going to do it. Oh, we don't have money to do this, the breakdowns that he wants. I said, no, I can do it. Dad had his policy and all that. We take that money and we bury.
It's good though that those children were brave enough to do that, to stand up to the uncles, because you know when you're grieving, and it's not all of us have got that personality of standing up. You know, it's really good that they did that, but I really think that which is why we're having the conversation again. We should avoid as much as possible to put our children in that position.
Exactly.
You know, because they could be overpowered, for lack of a better word.
Exactly. Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and it's different reasons. Like, you know, someone would say, I want to be buried in Australia because my kids are living here now. They would be coming to my gravesite to put flowers and
visit me.
Visit me. Unlike if you're gone to Zimbabwe,
that's it.
That's it. So different reasons, whatever the reasons are, your wishes are, really, I think that a legal document will be more binding. You don't put your kids in that position and your wife or your husband in that position where they now have to say, oh, but he said, oh, but she said, you know?
No.
Yeah, so hence these conversations.
No, thank you. Thank you for organizing it. I can't even wait to hear about the will.
Yeah.
Because our community needs that.
Yes, yes. No, we need it. We need it. People just need to be guided.
Exactly.
This is just you speaking, you know, you're gone, but you're speaking. This is your wishes.
Exactly.
That people need to respect. You know, people respect you when you're sitting there telling them, no, I don't want water. I want, you know, tea.
Tea, exactly.
It's really the same thing.
Yep.
You know, shallow example, but it's the same thing. This document is representing you when you're born. These are your wishes.
Yeah.
You know, no, my Mbenjele, I cannot thank you enough, you know, for really taking your time. You've come so from far away from tapping. It's a long way, really, and I truly appreciate just one phone call. You said I'm in, so I truly, truly appreciate you. So ZAWA elections, you said they when?
The 20th of January.
So who's running?
We are sending expression of interest because the one we sent, we didn't receive really the good outcome.
Okay.
So anyone, as long as you are a paid member, you are open to sort of self-nominate or nominate those people whom you know they've got hidden talents.
Right.
And we don't know them, but you need to check with the person and tell them that I'm nominating you, but we really need new faces.
So the whole committee gets dissolved?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole committee has to be, yeah. I know there are some people who want to carry on, but it depends whether you have voted them in.
I see. So there are people who are in there by nomination?
Everyone is by nomination,
Okay.
except because we had some challenges, so we end up appointing 3 committee members. We didn't take them from nowhere. Using the 2020 elections, we picked those who had high scores, so we brought them in to sort of help us when we needed support. So we appointed them for only 12 months. So those people are there, and it's up to them if they want to continue.
Okay.
They can be re-elected, or they can nominate themselves as well.
All right.
But for us, we have to
Time to go.
leave the chair.
Yes, no, but you do a lot, you know. I know you also work with the Organization of African Communities, so you do a lot, you know. I also don't know how you do it. Your hands are full. I just need to have you come back as well and just tell us how you do it.
Okay.
Because you do a lot, you know, and we truly appreciate you. The Zimbabwean community is grateful for, you know, because we know even with OAC, we know Zimbabwe is represented because we know you're there. You know, female community champion, you know, and you've had a few awards and, you know, but I think we'll talk about that when I invite you back, just to talk about my Mbenjele.
Okay, that will be good.
Please come wearing red.
Yes, I will. Oh, the other one didn't see. I've got red already.
All right.
Oh, maybe the people need to know it. You know, I don't wear without red. I always put red on to dilute. So you see? Yeah, to match it.
Come to think of it, I think I've seen you with a lot of red.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So that's who I am. So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, my Mbenjele. Thank you for watching. And so do look out for the one about wills and funeral insurance, because I think they really tie in together.
Yep.
Yes, thank you for watching.